Hey y'all. Well, I am actually driving, but I pulled off the road to do this video. I'm driving from my house in Wimberley up to my friend's house in Johnstown because I'm getting on an airplane tomorrow to go to an art conference, in North Carolina, in Asheville. So I wanted to just tell you about sort of the hard things that have happened lately. And I guess 2 points to my video, and I'm going to try to be fast. One is I am learning to expect the unexpected. When I go out to do something, I don't want hard things. I want it to be easy, and usually it is hard. So here's an example. Yesterday, I needed to go get my blood drawn because I'm on medicine and they need to check. They changed my medicine, so they need to check. And I see the doctor next week, so I needed to get my blood drawn, and I had the appointment at 9 a.m. So I'm like, great. My appointment with my trainer is at 9:30. Great. Well, y'all, they were running late at the doctor's office, and at 9:20, I went up there because I really wanted to work out with my trainer. And they're 2 minutes apart from each other, okay, in Wimberley, our little town. It's not traffic to get there. But I went to tell the receptionist, I need my blood drawn. What is the deal? Well, you want to come back tomorrow? And I'm like, no, I'm fasting. I don't want to come back tomorrow. I want to get it done now, but I had a 9 o'clock appointment. And then I just started crying. Of course, the nurse was busy with someone else, and oh man, I was like, okay, this is not a big deal, y'all, but it was to me. I started crying. So then I go sit down, and then she calls me back. And in the meantime, y'all, my trainer writes me a text message, and he's like, I'm stuck behind a truck. I'm going to be late. And I was like, and he's like, you want to come at 12:30? So I was like, yes. So see, God just worked it out, and I just didn't have to worry. My schedule got switched around, but it was fine. And I got in to my trainer at 12:30, and he just about killed me. It was so hard. I did so many squats. My legs are so sore today. But I go back now. I'm going back to the blood deal. So they call me back soon after I had started crying. And I'd stopped crying by then. And so she tries to get blood out of my right arm. Has a little tourniquet on. And guess what? No blood. And it's poking me hard. And it's hurting, and I start crying, not really because of the pain, but because I have no reserves. Y'all, I have no reserves. And so that is what I have no reserves. I can go from 0 to 10, meaning being calm, to being extremely upset, in no seconds. And so it's just my current state, and it's just the way it is. And so, so I got my blood. Well, she had to do the other arm. And she's like, why didn't I check that the first time? I'm like, I didn't even say anything. I'm like, you're the nurse, I'm not. And I didn't even tell her why I was crying. I did tell her it's not because of the pain. I mean, it did hurt, but that's not why I'm crying. And so I just made it through there, and then took some deep breaths, and and so that was hard. So y'all, there's another thing I have to tell you, and I was definitely not smiling when this happened, but I drove into Austin on Saturday night, and I was not looking forward to it. It was more than an hour way on the north side of town, and so I have to drive through the city of Austin, and traffic is not fun, and I was concerned about it, but I left him plenty of time to get there. I was going to that fundraiser that I'd given paintings to. And so they had a seat for me, and it was lovely. I did finally get there, but y'all, I was speeding. And so the policeman pulled me over. I was 8 minutes from my house when I got pulled over. He's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm like, no, I didn't know I was speeding. I was going 48 in a 35. And he, I think, was probably going to give me a ticket, but then I started crying really bad. And I told him my husband had just passed away, which is the truth, and I couldn't And I couldn't stop crying. He took my driver's license, checked my insurance, and then he didn't even write anything because I was crying so much. Like I was in a deep sobs. And he's like, ma'am, is there anything I can do for you? And he's like, you really need to calm down before you start driving again, which I realized I did need to calm down. And when he asked me if there was anything he could do for me, I wanted to say, can you drive me to North Austin, please, and go to this event or wait for me and then drive me back to Wimberley? Like that would be really helpful, but I didn't ask him that. And I made it. You know, I'm learning really not to wear eye makeup because mostly it's going to get washed away. Yeah. So isn't that cool? Like y'all, that's just so cool that, yeah, I'm learning that I have no reserves. And then God gives me strength to keep going. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. And then also God is working in miraculous ways for me. And this one real quick, I will tell you, I needed to get my tax stuff together to my CPA. And actually, I could have done it a few weeks ago, but I had no reserves to do that. And so I knew before I left on this trip, I really wanted it done. It just so happened, y'all, that my neighbor, who is amazing, Christy, you might be watching this at some point, texted me yesterday morning, and she's been telling me she will help me. She knows QuickBooks and everything, and she would help me get the things together. But she texted me yesterday morning and said, do you need help still? And I was like, yes, can you come today? So she spent several hours with me yesterday afternoon, last evening, and we got it done. Like there's still a little bit more, but I was able to take it all to the CPA. So I just knew that God had prompted her to text me yesterday and like help me. And then she knew what to do and told me how to focus and what to concentrate on. And we got it done. So anyway, God is good, y'all. And that's what I wanted to say. And so, yeah. So I guess my message is if you know people that are grieving, like realize that their reserves are depleted. And so then I really have to depend on God. And so that's what I'm doing. So, yeah. I think I'm just, I'm just learning as I go along, like reading my own signs of what I need. And, oh yeah, and here's another thing, like go to the CPA, I had everything on the table, and I grabbed my coffee and my water. Guess what? I left all the papers at home. So I had to drive all the way home, which is 10 or 15 minutes to get it. Like, yeah, and I was like, okay, I just did that. I'm not going to beat myself up. That just was what happened, because there's just not all my brain is firing. So, okay, well, I wanted to do this video, but I wanted to pull off the road because I did not want to do it while I was driving. So I'm headed on, but I love y'all. Thanks for praying for me. And God is good. That's what I know. Okay, bye.